Be careful about the people you let into your life. Some are like a curse, demons who resemble humans yet steal joy, peace, and life. Stoicism, a way of life founded on calmness, clarity, and strength, teaches us this. To live a joyful life, you need to have relationships that are healthy and true. Sincere, but the world isn't always full of good things. Some people come into our lives. Despite their close friendship, they maintain an innocent facade. Their actions wear us down, hurt us, and make us doubt ourselves. Maybe you felt like you were sucking in. When they were around them, envy or an unseen pull slowly made. If you doubt your worth, those who don't have hidden problems. They may display horns or scary looks, but they remain silent. How can you tell if someone is taking away your inner peace? Who do you know and how do you protect your heart, as Stoics say? It helps us maintain a calm and clear spirit through life's challenges. Let's look at 7 clear but minor signs that will help you spot storms. Learn how to overcome those who bring evil energy into your life. No matter what, there is peace inside. Let's dive. In sign 1, you were informed by your friends and family. When people close to us give us advice, our first thought may often be, we get frustrated when we feel like they're prying into our private lives. We might think we know everything about our own relationships and don't need any more help. But the truth is that an outsider's perspective is crucial. The most objective view comes from family or close friends, not strangers. Our loved ones don't have to deal with our feelings, so their opinions are more objective and correct, aimed only at keeping us safe from people who might be dangerous. In intriguing scenarios, family members don't usually say things like, beware, and if they're bad or dangerous, they don't do things like that. They might not be religiously inclined to use strong words to describe things. Indeed, their warnings reflect deep knowledge and genuine concern. We often ignore this worry. I remember when I was younger, my parents frequently advised me not to associate with specific individuals. My dad and sometimes my mother would gently tell me to be wary of some friendships when I thought I was safe with them. I knew everything and had a powerful grasp on the people around me. I was unable to recognize the subtle warning signs my parents noticed in me. Still, my friends always reminded me when my parents said things like, keep a watch on those individuals, as I don't want them in our home. They ignored it because they thought they were being critical or didn't like that. When I was younger, I thought they were just stiff or didn't have, I understand, friendship. But I didn't see the point in their advice and it seemed overly repetitive. Over time, as life often does, those relationships showed what they really were. As the saying goes, time shows us who people really are, and each of them, in the end, their actions and attitudes revealed their true nature. Time proved my parents right. These kinds of events show how important advice from loved ones is. One can't always tell what kind of person someone is by looking at their first impression. It requires time and a perspective that only an outsider can provide. Give your family the chance to speak up when they feel like it. When they issue a warning, they can't simply disregard the potential risks they perceive you facing. It's important to keep your emotions away from the person giving you advice. Do you really know what your family is? Asks the individual receiving the warning. Their observations are based on insight, but feelings can cloud them. When family members respond strongly, that doesn't mean their warning isn't valid. When loved ones converse, they do so because they make promises. Care. This worry could stem from a long life or a simple situation. Only close friends have this sense. They can't do anything if they see you were going in the wrong direction, even if the advice is harsh or challenging to understand. Their way of showing they care and want to keep you safe, those who really care. The people you love will speak up to protect you, even if you don't. When you receive a warning, it's crucial to continue hearing it at that moment. There is a psychological divide between the individual offering advice and the individual receiving it. They've told us that the goal is to maintain their earnestness and detachment, not to ignore them. Keep a calm mind to think about the advice in an unbiased way. Do you really understand what your friend or family member is attempting to convey and how they perceive the situation? That you might not keep your emotions in check helps you avoid frustrated responses. To understand what they were trying to say and why they were being so careful. Examine if their opinions are based on a mutual understanding. Sometimes deep worry may cause loved ones to react more strongly, but this doesn't make it less important. Instead, the loudness of their warning could indicate their genuine concern and desire for you to listen. It takes patience and insight to properly judge such situations. Advice not only enables you to comprehend their level of concern, but also being aware of and smart about how to handle events around you finally approaches their warnings. With Stoic thought doesn't tell us to stay away from other people. Instead, it tells us to see them for what they are. When we receive warnings, we should pay attention to the relationships and actions that are beneficial for us. Loved ones, know that you are in charge of your thoughts and feelings. Thoughts. This does not imply mindlessly following everything, nor does it. Ignoring the advice of those who care about you can be detrimental. It's a precious present that heightens your awareness of your surroundings. Clarity is living in peace and appreciating the value of honest advice. This will keep you calm and help you grow in the best way. They might also make you feel drained if you often feel that way, or if you tense up around someone, it could indicate that you are with them. It's straightforward to associate this with harmful or tiring energy. Work worries or personal duties can lead to fatigue. But if this feeling persists, if it only occurs with a single person, it could be your mind's way of communicating with you. Those who make us feel worn out are often the ones who drain our energy, erode our willpower, and hurt our mental health. Imagine a close friend who always comes to you to complain about everything that's wrong in their lives. Every discussion lasts for hours and is filled with negative content. When relationships fail or are unfair, they end. After each meeting, you feel worn out and lack energy. Even if you're feeling depressed for no apparent reason, have you ever considered this? A friend could be stealing your joy and energy. This happens a lot at work. We have to deal with a coworker who always complains about small things. Everything is a problem, from the weather to the boss, to the way other people act. Work, their constant comments make you feel bad, which leads you to consider everything around you from a similarly negative perspective. This energy makes it hard to stay cool while noticing these small signs of Stoicism, which challenges individuals to manage fatigue in the presence of others. To start, look at your mood. How do you feel after talking to or meeting someone? Are you worn out? When you experience a loss of life's enthusiasm, it's evident that something is wrong. One thing that Stoicism teaches us is how to keep our distance and stay safe. Protecting yourself from other people's influence without letting your feelings take over isn't the same thing as refusing to remember that Stoics don't turn down relationships. Getting help is about protecting your mental health with other people, but they believe in keeping relationships calm, which lets them not be being pushed down by people who don't want to get better, like at work. When you're with a negative coworker, try to stay calm and not let their adverse mood get to you. Focus on your inner world and on your work. Tell your friends and family honestly about how you feel about your duties. It makes you want to cut down on relationships or do healthier things if they don't change. Activities together. Stoicism encourages us to reflect on ourselves daily to better understand our own. To stay calm and in touch with your inner self, ask yourself, are you surrounded? Are you surrounding yourself with individuals who enhance your well-being and happiness, or are you placing yourself in unfavorable situations? These questions will help you figure out when tiredness is a sign of a negative effect. Stay away from people who aren't beneficial for you and choose to surround yourself with those who are. Relationships. My mum once told me about how she got along with her older sister. Every visit from sister was filled with criticism about how she raised her children. Despite always wanting to do what was best for her kids, her sister's constant criticism made her feel insufficient. She started to doubt herself, which made her lose confidence. Eventually, she understood this. Their relationship was unhealthy, and they chose to protect her by cutting off contact. She struggled to decide this, as family ties are difficult to sever and replace, but she knew that her faith in herself, her parenting, and her own decisions was strong. When she started spending less time with them, she felt compelled to protect something above everything else. A big change happened when she was with her sister. She started to feel lighter. Realizing the worth of her work and boosting her self-esteem, she told them that she didn't end the relationship completely, but she did spend less time with someone who made her feel awful and gave her time and room to think. If you're feeling down, reach out to those who really helped and encouraged her on her journey as a mum. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this person worth giving up my inner peace? Creating space for peace doesn't always indicate weakness. It can be an act of strength. Take care of yourself and make a conscious effort to maintain your balance. Sign 3. Being around people who drain them makes you feel bad. Your energy is already intense, but some people take it a step further. They intentionally do it. You're provoked by them intentionally putting you in bad situations. They use your mental weakness against you to get what they want. Stoicism believes that every action should push you to your limits. You need to be calm and in control of your emotions then. It's not simple to spot people who seem to bother you and make you angry. They could be co-workers, friends, or even family members. Ask yourself, is there someone in you feel pursued by someone who acts and speaks in a certain way? Weaknesses in an argument. Do they tend to bring up old grudges or try to push your nerves as you try to stay calm? These actions not only hurt, but this can also lead to increased anxiety and negative emotions. An all too common example is when you're making a concerted effort to improve or achieve a goal, and some people continue to criticize you, put down your work. They won't be afraid of harsh feedback, public ridicule, or subtle jabs. They aim to evoke negative emotions in you. Your feelings make it simple for you to fall into an anger trap. Anger, and ultimately a loss of control, are often the results of such bold behavior. Comes from their own spiritual lack or inner fear. If we allow others to provoke us, they may feel compelled to undermine others in an attempt to elevate themselves. Rule us, we become like them. And when we see them for what they really are, what they say and do only shows the empty space inside. Like an inner stoicism asserts that they carry this demon to avoid becoming enmeshed in a cycle of negative emotions. Develop a calm mind that remains unaffected by the actions of others. Nobody can control what others say or do, but we can control our response. Respond. Imagine that a coworker is purposely getting in the way of your work, gives you unfair feedback every time you do well in these situations. Ask yourself, I need to act right away. Could I handle this crisis more calmly by stepping back and thinking about it? You can escape acting on impulse. Desire Stoicism tells us to use these kinds of inner questions to stay in charge. Do not allow the actions of others to disrupt your composure, Marcus. We should step back and look at things more clearly, as Aurelius says. He writes that you control your thoughts, even if other things don't. If you do this, you'll be strong when someone tries to or likely to make you feel bad. Remember, while you can't control, you are responsible for all your thoughts and actions. One simple strategy is to take a deep breath, count to 10, and then this small action gives you a few important seconds to get back on track. Keep your cool and try not to let negative feelings take over. You might also want to keep a small journal and write down the feelings and events that make you angry or upset. You should think about what you said and come up with better answers for the next time. Everyone in our lives each play a unique role. Some lift and encourage us, while others, like devils, only seem to When you're around people who always make you feel bad, ask yourself, does my response matter? Should I allow this person to influence my decisions? Stoicism gives us inner strength not to fight other people, but in order to keep your inner freedom, the most important thing is to stay calm and true to your ideals. If you agree with this point of view, don't let other people's actions control you. Feel free to give it a thumbs up if this content really speaks to you. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts below. Now let's go into more detail. We have discussed it collectively. Let's proceed to the fourth step. Sign because they're jealous of your success. If we learn from Stoicism, we are still in the process of achieving success and have not yet reached the pinnacle. Envy over self-improvement and issues caused by others will manifest as the demons of life. Angry people don't wait for us to perform well before they attempt to bring us down. From the very beginning of our climb, they start to look for ways to stop us. Imagine you're at rock bottom. We've all come across this way after failing or facing a loss that seemed impossible to overcome. While we're getting back on our feet, sometimes the people around us aren't helpful. They might even doubt or make fun of the idea that you'll never make it. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on each small step we take toward our goals. Instead of seeking approval or support from others, set goals and break free from each. If you have a harmful habit or a painful past, the journey forward might not get easier. Every little win and step forward can make others jealous, but understand that ridicule and criticism shouldn't stop us. They actually make us stronger. Decide that what scares me most is seeing you keep going stronger and more. Stoicism tells us to see undesirable things as tests of our character. Our perseverance and stability propel us forward on our chosen path. When you begin to feel at peace and pleased with yourself, we are becoming less focused on material things and looking for a bigger reason for living. Some people will feel threatened, and they may still hold on to weak social norms and fight back. When people think about seeing someone rise above them, it often shows how they may say hurtful things or make fun of others because they feel inadequate. What should we do when we witness envy in someone close to us? We should think about this question. Should we try to change their point of view to show them that our progress isn't a threat, or we have to learn to let go in order to be calm? Things such as the thoughts and feelings of others are beyond our control. All we can do is to get a better sense of how to master our response. Let's look at a case. Many of us may encounter situations such as receiving a promotion at work or seeing an old co-worker. Previously close friends become less close and talk less. Smiles look fake, and you can tell they're not genuine by the way they look at you. For instance, when you begin a new, happy relationship, your happiness can fluctuate. You might upset a friend who once trusted you, and they might start making rude comments about you. Use phrases like, "You just got lucky," or "Let's see how long this lasts." Stay in that moment instead of wondering what I did wrong. You can take a moment to remind yourself that this other person's discomfort is beyond comprehension. It's not your job to change how they feel, and you can't let them. It can help to know that your success can serve as a mirror for your path. Focusing on what others haven't done or haven't reached yet can cause harm to others. Success. It's not your fault. This is a chance to get better. Keep a healthy space and take care of your own mental health. This doesn't mean ignoring or not letting them bother you. It means keeping a healthy mental distance. Remember that tolerance doesn't mean letting others hurt you. Sign 5 things they have hidden. Reasons for everyone else's success. that may seem like envy, but it's often just that beneath that jealousy there may be secret goals and sneaky plans. We don't quickly see how Stoicism helps us figure out and deal with. We need to be calm and clear about these secret plans. Some people behave like friends or fans but are using your trust to get what they want. Depending on your hobbies at work, you may come across co-workers who seem willing to help, but are actually fighting for chances to take charge or use. Others strive to enhance their own reputation while some friends remain loyal. After getting close, they gather information and use it against you. In the end, these people aren't truly friends, they're just people with hidden agendas. Plans, I've been there. A co-worker often offered to help. At first, I was grateful when I landed a big job, but over time I noticed that every time we showed results, he made it sound like I couldn't complete the job on my own. When we talked to our boss, he would stress that he had to help me because I understood that his help wasn't for nothing, it was meant to make me stronger. A friend of mine only showed up when I had something to say. It was exciting to talk about a new job, a small win, or a fun trip she'd taken. Quickly get in touch. I'm excited to meet up, ask questions and get involved. Basically, when things got tough and I needed help, she was there for me without saying a word. I started to wonder if this friendship was only there when things were going well. Is that a true friend who's only there for you when things go well? Ask yourself, companion, are you missing the real nature of the other person? Swayed by their superficial actions, I'm maintaining relationships that ultimately end. You're uncertain about their intentions, and answering these questions can be challenging. Answer, but they're very important for learning to carefully watch and figure out what someone really wants. Stoics know that understanding why other people do what they do is important for mental peace. Since everyone is sincere about what they want, we need to look at considering the situation objectively. Envision a college student who is always willing to assist, comments and help when you need it, but after a while, you start to notice that your ideas begin to surface in meetings under their respective names. At first, you might not pay attention to it because this could be a coincidence, but if it keeps happening, you might suspect this person is lying. Sincere, they're not helping because they care, they're using your ideas for their own gain. In these situations, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Don't let anger or pain drive you. Instead of getting angry or bitter, be patient and see what happens. We all want to live our real selves in an honest way. However, this can feel weak when smiles and kind words are mixed with, without a doubt, how can we keep our hearts from getting burned and our spirits from being shackled, being sucked into other people's schemes? Maybe the answer isn't, instead of rejecting or avoiding someone directly, they learn to keep a safe distance. We don't have to act cold or distant to protect our truth. Talk to them with awareness and calmness instead of being closed off. If someone seems suspicious, don't get too close or far away. Even if you have a friendly face, stay calm and keep your space. By resisting temptation, you safeguard both parties. Being honest and keeping you safe from harm are important to you. What do you have? Have you ever trusted someone because you believed they truly cared about you, only to discover otherwise? They used you for their own gain. Tell us your story in the comments so we can read it. Everyone should exercise caution, as the sixth sign indicates that they can harm you without permission. Life's awful. People often don't feel awful about the trouble they create. In fact, they tend to disappear soon after they've done their bad work. Goals are avoided after causing trouble and hurt. If someone breaks your trust and leaves you to deal with the pain and confusion, they are a killer. Someone who causes trouble but won't take responsibility for any results. They seem to only be to cause trouble, upset your feelings or position, and once they're successful, they retreat without a trace. For them, happiness is not derived from there is no connection or building something important, but in taking down the stability of others. Let's say you used to trust a close friend. In time, you realize this friend is always ready to help. Saying mean things about you, putting you down whenever you accomplish something, or feeling proud of when you try to talk to people about life, they respond by not expressing regret, often defending their actions by saying, "You got what you deserve." This coldness erodes when a relationship you once loved becomes mentally draining. Friends are no longer reliable at this point. They have become a nuisance. Become the person who destroys your life due to their ego. Fears by putting you down. Think about another situation where a friend or neighbor spreads false information about you that makes people doubt you, making trouble and then fleeing, leaving you to deal with suspicion from those who they leave without explaining or repairing the damage they've done for them. The thrill is in the short-lived pleasure of destruction, in any permanent connection, but the fact that they suddenly disappeared shows a basic truth. Sophists say that people like this don't really have power over you unless you let them. Epictetus said we should focus on our own values and remember that what other people do doesn't define us. This view values how you handle your circumstances over what happens to you. Know that everyone has their own set of beliefs and that no one can take our peace unless we let them. Keeping our emotions in check helps keep the peace we've worked for. It's difficult to develop, but here's a real-life example. You've just been given an incredible opportunity. At work, something you've worked hard to get, but rather than praising you, a coworker spreads false information about. When you approach them to ask for an apology, they don't seem to care about your skills. Instead, blame yourself for being overly sensitive during these times. You can ask yourself, do I really need this? Instead of getting angry or hurt. Before I can proceed with my work, I need the person's okay or an apology. Almost always be no, because they don't know how much you're worth, and you shouldn't let them. Do other people have power over you? Have you ever asked yourself, can I? It's challenging to offer forgiveness without an apology, but Stoicism doesn't teach us how to find a way to let go of anger. It instructs us to remain passive or steer clear of unpleasant emotions, which aids in our acceptance. Some people will never change or feel sorry for what they did. This is what we need to focus on. We should focus on the positive things in our lives instead of wallowing in anger or punishment. Taking care of our own health is important, especially when we're with someone. Who inflicts pain on you without feeling any remorse? Stoicism tells us to look within ourselves. We should reflect on the significance of that friendship and determine whether we need that person in our lives, not because of who they are, but because of the bad things they do. By noticing and getting rid of, we can protect our freedom and peace by not letting others affect them. Your acts get in the way of your growth and inner peace. Move forward and rise above. This is the true path to destruction, characterized by strength and self-respect. Stoicism. If someone brings up your old life, remember that it's always changing. The idea behind Stoicism is that you should change with each day. We should focus on managing our current responsibilities and have the courage to relinquish control. Even though the past no longer aids in our growth, certain individuals continue to enter our lives, only to bring up painful memories from the past. Want to remind you of the past because they care, or to bring up pain and regrets. You've worked hard to get over it. Everyone has times when they'd rather forget mistakes, failures, or sad losses. Hurt a lot, but Stoicism says the past should be forgotten. Relaxed people learn from the past rather than dwell on it. They learned in IT school not to let the past weigh them down, but when they keep reminding you of mistakes or failures you've made in the past. They do this on purpose to make you feel bad about yourself and self-doubt. This is not beneficial. In fact, it hinders your progress. Making progress, maybe you feel this way every time you proceed. When you do well or show confidence, someone always shows up to tell you, don't forget that you failed once. Don't get it wrong, these memories may be caused by envy or just they experience a sense of safety when they are in a vulnerable position. Imagine you just got your dream job. As soon as you inform everyone about your new job, a family member or friend says, "Didn't you try something like this?" Out of the blue before and failed. Are you sure this time will be different? These remarks aim to cast doubt on you rather than to assist you. Old fears will come back to haunt you through the eyes of a Stoic. These kinds of warnings are akin to a demon dispersing negative energy and sowing the seeds, someone who often brings up self-doubt and clouds your positive view of the future. When individuals from your past engage in actions that hinder your progress, they may not genuinely desire for you to advance. Negative feelings are a subtle sign that they don't really want you to achieve, or to move on if old stories are told again with a hint of mischief, or every time someone comes back, it's a clear sign that they're not a trusted friend. You've done wrong in the past. Ask yourself, am I still that? And this is the question that Stoicism tells us to ask ourselves when we are. People understand that revisiting painful memories can sometimes break you. However, what is the weight you are carrying if you have undergone a transformation, Gran, and you are confident in your own skin? Those thoughts really get to me. I've been through similar things. Problems. When I talked about my new goals, my brother would often tell me of the mistakes I had made in the past. Whenever they tried to move forward, he would laugh and say, "Remember how you failed at that? What if you've previously held a job? You might want to reconsider your decision this time." This may sound like advice. It made my doubt worse at first, and I was angry. I got defensive and tried to explain that I wasn't that person anymore, but my response got worse. Over time, I learned how to reply calmly to things that made me more angry. He would sometimes say, "I understand, but I've learned from those mistakes." Eventually, he stopped reminding me of certain things. They stopped being hurtful and became things I could ignore. Some people find strength in while some people use the past to fuel their growth. Others remain trapped by it. If you want to move on from your mistakes, write down what you've learned. Making mistakes is a beneficial way to build your confidence and learn from them. Respond subtly to those who seek to control you because of your past. People who keep bringing up the past should get a cool, confident answer. You could say in a gentle way, "That was a part of who I used to be, and I've changed. Thank you for the reminder, but I've moved on since then." This answer shows that you're aware of your past, but don't let it define you when you master the signs of someone blocking your progress. Inner strength. Keep in mind that this is a chance to practice mindfulness. Being cool and stoic can sometimes reveal a hidden truth. Demons doesn't mean fighting or moving them. It means keeping the spirit remains constant, untouched by the negative actions of others. Teach people to be like the Stoics and walk quietly through darkness and suffering. Without letting negative things weigh you down, look back at the road you've taken. Those who really matter will stay, picked with a lying heart and calm mind, and those demons will vanish on their own. In the end, only you hold the power. You have the freedom to choose your own happiness and peace of mind. If you notice other signs, please mention them here so that we can all learn from them. Please feel free to send this video to your loved ones as a kind but important gift. Please remember to subscribe to the show for more in-depth lessons. Stoicism, thanks for watching. May your life be full of strength and peace.